Hello, I am Kenneth Dennis and welcome to our video today. And what we're going to be speaking specifically about today is how to pick and choose a niche if you're a tax or accounting business, and why that is so important for your growth and really charging more, getting more quality clients, and working with clients that you actually like. And we're going to discuss exactly what that looks like. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to head to my iPad. It's going to be an iPad-based training where I'm going to walk you through the importance of picking a niche. What is a niche? Why do we want to do that? And why that's so important for your tax and accounting business, and how it could really double or triple your revenue within your business by doing this one simple thing. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head to my iPad. So as you can see now, we're going to be speaking about the importance of picking a niche if you're a tax or accounting business. So what we're going to cover today are some key problems that will come with that you might be facing if you're a generalist. We're going to be going over how you're going to be able to create more value for your customers. Therefore, when you're able to create more value, you're able to charge more as well. Then following that, how you're going to be able to have no more competition, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to break down basically what a generalist is, or actually let's break down basically what a niche is. So what a niche is a specific type of client that your tax or accounting business serves, okay? So when you first start within a business, most people, when they start in the tax or accounting space, they're more generalists. And what that basically means is you serve anybody and everybody. You have a slew of different services, from tax prep to payroll to quarterly returns to accounting work to everything. And you're serving anybody from startup companies to doctors to lawyers to everybody. And where you're a generalist, you're not as focused on a certain type of client. And why do you want to be focused on a certain type of client? Let me give you an example. So when you have a generalist doctor, right? A generalist practitioner, a family doctor, this doctor will basically serve you if you have a cold, a flu, a fever, or you broke your leg, or whatever the case may be. They're the first person that you see, and they basically serve you, and they're basically making sure that you're okay. But if you have a specific injury like a hand injury or a leg injury, or think about it, when you have athletes like LeBron James, and let's say he tears his MCL or his ACL, he's not going to go to a generalist doctor. He's going to go to a knee specialist. Why? The reason he's going to go to a knee specialist because A, it's specific and they know everything about the knee. They spent time and energy on that niche, so they know exactly how to heal a leg. They've seen plenty of cases and they know exactly what needs to be done and how to fix a leg. And they're very specific in what they do. And if you ever broke your leg, would you want to see a general family doctor or a specialist? So why do specialists get paid more? That's the real question. Specialists get paid more for the simple fact that they focus on one thing. So if you ever broke your knee, if you're the customer or you're the person who's injured, 9 times out of 10, I would even say 10 times out of 10, you're going to go to a person who basically is a specialist. So specialists get compensated more because they specialize on one thing. So when you have a tax and accounting business, you want to specialize on one niche. So that niche might be basically, chiropractors, right? And you basically focus directly on tax planning and tax prep for chiropractors. So now think about this. Now think about if you're going out to an event and you're going to an event that's based around chiropractors, and you go on stage and you tell people, I'm a tax savings expert directly for chiropractors. Those customers are more willing to work with you because A, you understand their business, B, you understand their needs, and you've worked with so many other people where you know the exact nuances of that business so you can serve them better. And that's why basically when you're a generalist, you're going to have more problems because customers don't look at you as an expert. When you're looked at as an expert, that means you're going to be able to charge more for your services. Okay. So most people that I speak to, when they're struggling with their firm and they're doing simple 1040s and not being able to grow their businesses, and they're growing their businesses and people are price gouging them and different things like that. 9 times out of 10, when I ask them, well, who do you specialize with? Well, I just specialize with any taxpayer. That's the reason you're not able to charge more, because you haven't specialized. Okay, so we want to move from you being a generalist to being a specialist and specializing within one niche. That's going to be very, very important. The second thing it does is it creates more value, because now if I'm a specialist who works directly with real estate investors, I know exactly the type of strategies that I can utilize for investors to get the maximum tax savings. For example, a cost segregation study, right? A cost segregation study is a certain tax strategy that accelerates depreciation on your client's property. That's a specific strategy for real estate professionals. And when you're able to implement a service like this, you can charge anywhere between, I've seen $10,000 all the way upwards to $50,000 for a service like this. It's a very specialized niche service that you're offering, okay? So when you're a specialist, you can charge more. If I'm a specialist and I work directly with dentists, dentists are willing to pay me more because I specialize in working with them, okay? So the next thing is, and that leads us to higher pricing, right? You're able to charge more because you're specializing. So when you're first starting, so there's 2 types of basically professionals within this business. You have your generalist, right? And you have your specialist. Usually when it comes to the evolution of a tax or accounting practice, you'll offer, maybe 50 services, anywhere between tax prep, payroll, accounting cleanup, tax planning, entity setup, QuickBooks setup, IRS audit representation, everything. The reason why generalists do this is because they don't have confidence in basically what they're offering. So they're going to offer somebody anything and everything. It's like if you're a guy, right? And you're trying to go out and get the girl and you're offering her every single thing, flowers, you're buying her gifts, you're buying her this, you're buying her that. If you could just be calm and be yourself and be confident within yourself and show a person what you have to offer from your personality and be simple, 9 times out of 10, that person ends up getting the girl, right? From a male's perspective, that ends up happening. But when you don't have confidence within business, you're going to offer everything and anything to anybody. You're almost like a free body for hire. But when you're a specialist, you're specific on what you offer. So these are the clients that I see that do the best work and charge the most money and have the best businesses. And what they do is they'll offer tax planning. And they'll specialize with, let's say, real estate investors. Okay? Obviously, after a tax plan is done, those clients are probably willing to work with you when it comes to tax prep. So now they'll offer tax prep. Then basically, if you're working with a certain type of niche, you let your niche define what your service offering is. So if you're working with real estate investors, a lot of them probably need help with their books and CFO work to basically let them know if they're profitable on their properties or not. Or accounting cleanup, or accounting and bookkeeping. What you're doing now is you're letting your customers define what your service offering is. So when you specialize, not only are you specializing with a certain customer, you're specializing with what you offer a customer. So for an example, when it comes to our firm, we specialize, we're known to be the #1 tax savings expert for real estate investors. So why is that important? Because once we get a client, we sell them on tax planning, and the tax planning is geared towards investors. And when we're on the phone, we're talking about certain niche strategies that we know that will be utilized for specifically them. So when we're telling them this, like, hey, Joe, thank you so much for having a call. Based on your situation, we can see that we could probably save you over $50,000. We could see that, a lot of our clients use cost segregations to accelerate depreciations. That's one strategy. Then as well, I can see that you have all of your real estate properties within one LLC. We would love to basically, dissolve that and have all of your properties in multiple LLCs so we can basically utilize, certain key strategies for certain properties and different things like that. When you're able to have that conversation, a client is like, wow, A, they specialize in tax savings for my industry. B, they know the exact strategies that they want to implement for me. Absolutely. And when it comes down to that, I can charge them a lot more. And when it comes to charging for a tax plan, we either do a percentage of savings, which is around 10%, or that's A, or B, we can do a flat fee, which might be for us, if we decide to do a flat fee, $7,500. So now basically we're specialized with working with a certain group of people. We know the exact strategies that we're going to implement. So that makes it easier for us because we have a clean system and process now when it comes to serving customers. We're not doing willy-nilly IRS audit representation, this and that, where it's hard to scale a business if you don't have a systematic process for a certain type of customers. When it comes to customers like this, it might take us maybe 4 hours to do the tax plan. Why? Because we already know the exact strategies we're going to implement for them. Then as well, we have a very clean system and process. All right. And we're charging $7,500. We don't care what the hourly is. That's the value that's being delivered. So we're more profitable now from that business. Now, when we have that client, they're going to be asking us, okay, well, can you do our tax returns? And we'll get their personal and business returns. And now once we get those returns, the price is going to be a lot higher because they've already paid us a high ticket price because they know we're specialists. So now where everybody will charge $300 for a basic 1040, we're able to charge $1,000. And for business returns, we're charging anywhere between $1,500, obviously based on, the different documents and different things that they have in forms we have to file, anywhere to $3,500 for a return. Then basically a lot of our clients, as we're going through and we're speaking to them, they need a lot of CFO work. They want, basically consistent bookkeeping services and different things like that because they don't have that within their business. Now we're able to offer those type of services, other services. But see, everything is based off of what that client needs. So you go from basically this side of a generalist where you offer everything, you have no confidence, to basically going to a specialist where we're the number one tax savings experts for real estate professionals. When a person hears that type of conversation, they're like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. What you want from clients to say is, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So for an example, I was in the market for basically trying to find a coach to help me with my mentality, to help a coach to basically help me build stronger will, focus, everything like that. And you could go to basically a mental coach or a therapist, but those are generalized. Then I found basically a business mindset coach. And he talked about basically, he's going to teach you all the fundamentals of becoming a high level CEO and teach you all of the mental tool sets that you need to have to perform at the highest level. When he told me that, he was speaking my language. And I felt as if, wow, I found somebody who specializes in what I'm looking for. And he was able to charge me $5,000 for a 2-month program. When you work with other, mindset coaches and different things like that, they're only charging around $125 an hour. That's because they're generalists. He decided to be a specialist. So what I'm getting at and what I'm trying to tell you guys is basically when it comes to this type of business, you really need to specialize, because at the end of the day, what it's going to cause you now when you specialize, you're not going to have competition. Everybody else within your industry is serving everyone, right? You're serving 1 to 2 niches. When you do that, you're not competing with anybody. So when that client talks about, well, I'm telling the client I'm the #1 tax savings expert for real estate investors, they can't compare me to another CPA. They can't compare me to another firm because they don't specialize. So when they come to me, they know they're going to pay premium fees because I specialize in exactly what they do. And therefore, when you're in a market where you don't have to compete, it becomes very easy. I'll give you another example. So there was, let's talk about the alcohol industry, right? So within the alcohol industry, you had basically companies that just came out with a new product like White Claw, which was basically a alcohol-based seltzer. When White Claw first came out, they grabbed so much market share because if A, it was a new product, then B, they were serving a whole different type of customer. Their customer were customers who were more health conscious. They didn't want to drink beers that made them bloated, and they wanted something that was more lighter. So White Claw was charging a very astronomical price for their beverages. Nobody else could compete with them, and they were just focused on that niche in that market. Did other people come into the market and try to compete with them? Sure. But when you're a specialist, you have something that's called the first mover's advantage. That means basically people will always remember you because you were the first person to do it, or you're the first person they ever ran into. It's like Netflix. Netflix was the first company to start streaming online when it comes to movies and shows. There's a whole bunch of other streaming services now, but who does everybody utilize? And as soon as you start thinking about streaming and movies, what's the first company? Not Blockbuster, not HBO Max, not all these companies. It's Netflix. So that's the key thing that you want to do when you're a tax professional, is you want to make sure that when you're starting your business, you start off being a generalist. When you're a specialist, it means you're low in confidence and you're a novice and you're offering anything to everybody. And that's why you're not being able to scale your business and charge more. When you're a specialist, you're able to build great systems and processes because you specialize with one customer, which means you can have cookie cutter strategies that you're going to give to these clients, whether it's tax planning. You're going to be able to charge them more when it comes to tax preparation because you just specialize with what they offer. Then as well, basically, you're going to build your services around the needs of your customers. So it's so fine-tuned and tailored where now all of your marketing is going to go towards that certain niche. And once they get into your ecosystem, you start serving them, they're going to be like, gosh, I'm so happy that I'm working with this firm because they know exactly what I'm looking for and what I'm about. Okay? So again, guys, I am Kenneth Dennis. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And when you guys are, deciding to pick and choose and to start your own tax and accounting business, whether you're a novice with no experience or whether you've been in this business for years, specializing will take you to the next level, and it's something that you have to do. Again, guys, I am running a free training that you guys will be able to register for, where I break this process down even further and give you guys actual step-by-step instructions on what you need to do to build your own hyper profitable tax and accounting business that can be ran virtually from anywhere in the world with a laptop or an iPhone. So what you want to do is you want to register for that free training, hop on that and get some amazing value. Again, it's going to be free, so make sure you guys jump on, okay? Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.